Hi guys. So, as you may know or may not know, I bought myself a PlayStation VR about a week or so ago, and I'm loving it. Definitely loving it. But the one thing that I kind of hate, well, not hate, can't really say hate, just don't like about the VR is that it's wired into, you have to plug it into the front of the PlayStation, and it's kind of a little bit awkward, and it's always in my mind a little bit that the lead is there, and I'm kind of a bit worried about maybe tripping on it or sort of getting caught. I'm not really quite sure if there's any kind of way of, like, a better way of doing it. I kind of have it in front of me and try and keep it as straight as possible and everything. I've tried to do it a different way where the lead is over my back, but it's kind of like it still goes around the back of me and then in front, so it's still kind of in front of me, if you know what I mean. So it just worries me a little bit that could potentially sort of like tangle myself up or get tripped over or something. So anyway, basically what I kind of decided was, as well as, like, while I was looking for games for the PlayStation VR, I started coming across like exclusives that are obviously on PlayStation VR, like the Horizon game and Gran Turismo and games like that. And then on the Quest side, they had Batman Arkham. What was it? Batman Arkham Shadows, basically, which is exclusive to the Quest. I mean, it's made by a studio or whatever that's owned by Meta. I was hoping, as I was reading more and more about it, I was hoping it was going to come across to other VRs, but by looks of it, it's kind of going to be exclusive always to them, because it's kind of like how Sony's, Gran Turismo, they're not going to let that really come out on something else unless their headset just bombed completely and they was just trying to make some money back, and even then PlayStation just doesn't do them kind of things normally, and I don't think Meta's gonna have that kind of issue. I think I'd read something about 20 million of their Quest headsets had sold in the last generation, and about 1 million or something already with the free, and then this is the 3S that just came out, I think, a couple of months or so ago now. So anyway, yeah, basically I decided, well, why not just get this one as well? I'll play the majority of the games on the PlayStation because I'm kind of happy, but I just wanted to see as well, like, how another VR would be. And it's kind of like how I've always been a PlayStation person, but I've had the Wii U, but I've always played PlayStation 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's always been my main console, and that's the console I play, used to play every day, or at the moment, like, every few days or whatever. And then the other consoles, I've always been a sort of like a secondary thing to play, like the exclusives or whatever. So yeah, like, basically it feels to me like it's kind of just like that with this. Like, I thought, well, I'll get this and play any exclusives that come out that I'm interested in on here. And also, the thing that the PlayStation VR doesn't have is the being able to sort of do that. I don't know what they call it, but the bit where you can sort of watch YouTube, so you can see, like, what's really happening around you, sort of through the headset, and then you have like a panel that's kind of, I think it's in view or something, or whatever it was called. Yeah, so basically you can watch like YouTube or something like that, and then I was watching some last night where you could do a 360 view as well. So like I was on like a bike ride or whatever, somewhere in America, and I can't remember what it was called now. I wish I'd have remembered. but it was proper sort of like laggy and stuff, and I paused the video and I changed the setting to like the highest it would go, just like 4100 and something or whatever p, and it was still kind of blurry and laggy and stuff in places, and my internet was like perfect at the time. So I don't really know, but I'll get into that in a minute with those kind of things. But yeah, I sort of thought, well, exclusives that come out only on Quest 3, so the Batman Arkham Shadows game, and it's free as well at the moment if you pick up a VR Meta Quest 3 or 3S or whatever, when you link your account. So I thought it was like, I don't know what I thought. I thought it was a code or something like that. But basically, you sign up to the to Meta Horizon account, like an app on your phone. And then you kind of have to link your headset. So I'd seen a lot of people complaining that they didn't get their code or anything like that. It's not a code. It's you kind of download the Meta Horizon app. Then when you click on that, is like a bit to link your headset in. It has to find the headset, so you have to have the headset on or charging or whatever, and then it has to find the headset. And then once it finds the headset and links it together, it then sort of like, I think it went to another section which showed like your library and games and things to add to the headset, and that's where it said claim Batman, and so I could claim it, because before that I'd gone into the store and it had a price there, but that's because I didn't link the headset to the app. So once the headset was linked, it then asked me to claim it, and then there was another game there or something. I can't remember which. I think it was like a first hand or something it was called. So it's like, it's like just a tour to show you how to use the VR with your hands or whatever instead of the controllers. Yeah, I don't want to waffle on too long. I just want to kind of keep the video kind of short if I can, as this was more of a kind of unboxing and my impressions on it. So I want to kind of keep it kind of short and sweet, hopefully. But yeah, like that part of it was easy enough, like once I kind of got on there, it took me like 10 minutes or so, 10-15 minutes, and I was using the headset, and then I kind of had to do that. No, sorry. I unboxed it, set up the app and everything, and I plugged it in to charge it while it was doing that. Then I think I switched on the headset at one point, and then it had something about it was downloading the updates, and it was about 10-minute update or so. So I left it doing that while it was downloading Batman and stuff onto the headset and that. And then I kind of went off and done a few things and come back about an hour later, and then sort of just started using it then. So in total, if I took that hour away taking it out of the box and setting it up and doing the app and downloading the stuff and that, if I'd have taken that hour away in between, it was probably like literally like 10-15 minutes, like, and I was away. So it was easy to set up and easy to do, and then sort of got onto Meta Worlds or whatever, and then there was like make an avatar. So I was making my avatar, and that probably took me like 20 minutes or so, just going through things to adjust and stuff. And then I played some of the worlds within that Meta Worlds, Meta Horizon Worlds or whatever it's called. So I was playing like some of the like shooting ones, the fishing one. There was a golf range one where you hit it with bats and things. There's a plaza, so walking around in there, messing about, and yeah. Then I played some of the other games that were like that I downloaded, like the free to play games and stuff. And in a little while, I'm going to be playing the Batman Arkham Shadow game, but I'll show the unboxing and stuff first, and then I'll kind of give my sort of almost my final impressions on the headset. So yeah. So basically it comes like, this box. It's not very big, it's not a massive box. It's not heavy either. So obviously it's a much smaller box than what the PlayStation VR comes in. It's a long sort of thicker box. There's a lot more to it and stuff. Like the controllers are bigger, the headset's bigger. But it's kind of interesting how they've got it in such a small box here. And I think, to be honest, they could have got the PlayStation VR in a box a bit smaller than it is. Like they could have used maybe about half the size of the box and made it slightly higher, maybe, if they would have just put like the headset and the controllers together. They put the headset and then the controllers behind it and then the headset. But it is it's definitely a bigger headset, and it's a different type because the PlayStation VR's got the hard plastic, like, well, soft plastic or whatever, plastic ring to it that goes around, so it needs the bigger space, and you'll see what I mean. Obviously, like before I bought it as well, I started looking into all of the things, like what else will I need and stuff, because obviously the PlayStation VR, you don't really need anything else. Like there's not all these like adjustable things. Like the controllers are rechargeable anyway out of the box, the built-in batteries and stuff, and the headset doesn't require charging or anything because it's plugged into the PlayStation, so you don't need like things like that, rechargeable batteries or docks or whatever, but they're like extras if you do want them. And I don't think you can really change the headbands and stuff like on the PlayStation VR. Not that I've really seen. You can get things to make it more comfortable, which I'll do another video on, because I said in my other video about the PlayStation VR that I had some bits that were coming. They've come now, and I've put them on. I'm just waiting for the lens, the lenses to go onto the top, like extra lenses, like over the top of it. That like they're magnetized, so they go on the top, and so it stops the original ones getting scratched. So I'm just waiting for those. They should be here in a few days, and then I'll probably do the whole thing in one go then. But yeah, like I was looking at all the extra things that you can get for this, like, the rechargeable batteries that you can put inside, because the controllers just take normal batteries. And it comes with a normal battery already in it, but they're not rechargeable batteries. But you can put rechargeable batteries in there and stuff. So you can get those, and you can get like a dock and everything like that. The headset, you can get a different headband. Take this one off and get a more comfortable one, and then one with like built-in battery blocks in it, like what do you call them? My mind's kind of gone blank. Power banks. Sorry, that like you use on your mobile phone, but it's like built into the headset, or you can get ones that attach to the headset. There's all different things, different parts that you can add to it and stuff and change. So it could end up adding like, a couple of extra £100 to it. And I bought this in the Black Friday sale, so this was £275, and I got it from Currys. And yeah, like it says on their thing, they don't sell Currys. But yeah, I got it from there. So yeah, it's $275. I think normally free something. But obviously it's the cheaper one, and it's got a 128 gigabyte one. I didn't want to get a big one because I thought I'll probably be using this for maybe like I say, a couple of the apps like YouTube or something like that, and be watching videos that way. Give that a try. But otherwise, game-wise, it was going to just be for exclusives and stuff. So something like the Batman game was about 19 or 20 gigabytes or whatever. Another one of the games, one of the free-to-play games, was about 5 gigabytes or whatever. So I was thinking, well, that's going to be easily enough for me anyway, and I can just re-download the games, delete them, whatever, and stuff anyway. So yeah, so basically I'll show you what's in the box, because I wasn't gonna go ahead and get all those extra things anyway. So it just slides out normally, but I'm kind of doing this one-handed. And then you get like this little tab thing here that you just pull up like that. And it's one of those kind of weird boxes. It's almost like them birthday kind of ones that you get, like them weird birthday cards that you kind of open and then it all springs out, because it kind of like just folds down like this. I mean, I haven't put it back in the box perfectly, because yeah, I've got the lead here, the charger. So this it comes with one of these, you know, just a simple power block that takes the mini USB-C thingy lead. So it's the USB-C to USB-C thing, like end to end. So there's no normal USB on it. So I've got that, and then there's a little folded bit here that's got you know, your bits and pieces in there, like the instructions and warranty and stuff. And then there's a QR code to scan there, and that takes you straight to the thing to download the app. So that's built into the actual box. And then you've got the controllers, which come with a little tab thing in the back there that you pull out because the battery's inside. So you have to kind of push this little button down here, and then it pops open to put the battery in, to change the batteries. So that's the battery that it comes with, a Hey-Bright. So yeah, you have to put your own AA batteries in after that one's run out, or maybe rechargeable batteries will be fine. I've got some rechargeable batteries that I was planning to use on this, which I was using on my old Xbox One controllers back when I had one of those a few years ago or whatever. So I was planning on doing that with this, but I'll tell you in a minute why I probably won't be. And then obviously, yeah, there's another one in that one as well. So they each individually got their own battery and stuff. And it's just one battery. And the one thing I do like about this controller, though, over the PlayStation one, is literally just this grab button, because it's so much bigger. Whereas the PlayStation one is very, very flat. It's like right to the bottom, pretty much, and just sticks out a little bit. But I have got a little thing, a rubbery thing that I'll show when I do my other video. Once the lenses come, I did get a thing that goes over the back, like a little rubber sticky thing, and it goes on the grab button as well, and on the grip part here, to make it a bit more comfortable to hold and stuff, so you're not just feeling like the plastic. And so that raises it up by about, like, you know, triples it at least. So that it does feel a little bit better with that on there. But I just like the way that this one's got it already on it. It's like, you know, a lot bigger. The R2 and L2 kind of button, the back button's about the same, really. Like, I think it's feels a little bit nicer on the PlayStation 1, but obviously it hasn't got the haptic, or whatever you call it, feedback thing built into these kind of ones. Only the PlayStation VR has that, so you don't get that feel on these ones. So, you know, otherwise it kind of feels pretty much like the same. It doesn't have the loop, the ring around it and stuff. But yeah, otherwise it's kind of the same buttons pretty much. And what I liked about that as well is, well, it's not about them controllers, I think it's more about the headset itself, is that it picks up like the hands and stuff. So I was able to do things like pinch the screen to sort of do things, you know, like to touch on something or whatever. So I'd pinch it or whatever, and then so I could use my hands instead of the controller, something you can't do on the PlayStation VR. But those are just like little extra things, I think. Like, yeah, I'll kind of say my piece on it right at the end. But yeah, you get this kind of spacer bar as well inside there, which is for going into, you pull the eye part of the headset off, and then you can insert this part and then put this back on, and that basically just gives it like that little bit extra. it just pulls it out a little bit extra, so your eyes are not as close to the lenses by that much, by like basically a little bit more than maybe a glasses frame, because this is more for people who are wearing glasses. It stops their glasses hitting the lenses, or people with really long eyelashes or something apparently. But I don't know how that works really, because if you're going to have really long eyelashes, I think they're going to be longer than that. And then the headset. So it comes with like everything already to go. So this is basically how it come in there, like just minus it was folded up a bit more or something, and it looked a bit nicer in the box. But basically, yeah, it was ready to go straight away. And that's the headset with all the sort of cameras on the front. It's got like microphones and stuff built into it all over the place. It's got another camera on the side, which the PlayStation ones have it just like the 4 cameras like in pretty much the corners of the front, whereas this one's got all kinds of cameras at the front going on. It's got another one at the side here. It's got a couple more microphone ones down the bottom. It's got a volume up and down button there, and the button to press to go in game, so that it takes up the full screen, or press it so that you can view what's going on in the real world or whatever. And the other side, there's another camera built into it there, and then another microphone. The power buttons on the side, and the recharge port is on the side there as well. And then on the inside of here, you've got, I don't know if there's a microphone there as well, but it's the speakers. So the speakers are on each side within the plastic part at the front there. And so basically on the PlayStation VR one, you have to put the earphones in, like the little plastic ones that come with it, or you can put your headset on. So that's the only way to hear the sound. Otherwise, you can't just do it without something in your ear or near your ear or whatever. But this, it has it on here, and it sounded really good. It did sound perfect to me, to be honest. When I was watching a couple of YouTube videos, and then I was in the Worlds thing, and I was listening to like gunshots and things like that, it sounded really loud. It was like I had something stuck in my ear. But the good thing about it as well is I could hear things going on around me as well. So I was about to watch the Arsenal Man United game, and I was waiting for it to start. I thought it started at 6:30 basically, and it started at 8:30 last night. So I had it on in the background from 6:30, and I was waiting for the kickoff and that. So while I was waiting for the kickoff, I thought I'd do a little bit more, like, messing about on VR and stuff. So I could hear that in the background as well. So it was nice. Like I could hear both things, but it felt like it was natural. It wasn't like one was too badly over the other one or whatever. And I could turn it up and down with the volume button there and stuff as well. So, and I could hear, when the doorbell went perfectly fine as well, when I'm upstairs, and that was downstairs. So that's the headset, and it doesn't feel it's kind of heavy-ish. It feels heavy. If this was your first ever VR headset, you'd probably think, oh my god, this is kind of heavy. But compared to the PlayStation one, I don't know exact weights and stuff like that, and measurements and stuff, so I'm not going to go into that on here. But basically, like, it feels in my hand a lot lighter than what the PlayStation VR did. I wouldn't say maybe half, but it is probably like, about a third of the weight or whatever. But it's really easy to put on as well, because this is all just elastic. Like the whole headset, except from the plastic bits at the front, that's hard there. But this whole bit here is just basically elastic, the whole thing. So there's a gap here for your ponytail to go in. So for ladies, you put your hair back, tie it into a ponytail or whatever, and then when you put your headset on, you put your ponytail through here, so it just loops out the back, because this would be right in the middle. So that's kind of perfect for ladies or whatever. But it's also a secondary thing, because once you put the headset on, then basically you pull these apart, and that tightens the headset. So the more you pull these apart, the shorter this strap gets. Wait, I'll pause it. Hold on. So basically, I've pulled that apart pretty much to the max, and that's made it a lot shorter. So that'll be for, like, smaller heads, like kids or whatever. Obviously not under 12s or whatever. But yeah, it will kind of tighten there, and then it's got the one that goes over from the front to the back, which is supposed to pull the weight away from the front, which the PlayStation VR doesn't come with. But that was an extra thing that I got for my one. So really, like, the extras for a PlayStation VR is pretty much, I think, like, you can get straps that go from the front to the back or whatever. And there's different ones of those from all different places. But I don't think you can change the rest of the headset part. Not that I've seen, maybe, but I haven't really looked, because I was happy with the rest of the headset. So, it was just that part. It felt a bit heavy at the front, and it felt like it was pushing down into my nose. So these kind of straps apparently keep the weight from pulling down too much and pull it up a little bit. So it just holds the weight off. On this headset, putting it on, it felt a lot more comfortable on my face, I'm not going to lie, than the PlayStation VR one. But the field of view from the lenses, it feels like I am actually looking through, like, binoculars and stuff. Like, it does feel like I get the darker, the blackness, like, on the outer part of the ring. Whereas when put the PlayStation VR headset on, it feels like you're watching the whole headset. It's almost like as though there isn't two lenses in there. It's as though the whole thing is a lens, because it feels like the whole world gets cut off. This part here with the nose bit, it feels a bit too big. My nose is quite a big nose as well, and this felt like it was a bit too wide, and you can't shrink this. On the PlayStation VR, you've got a wheel that you can turn, and it tightens the inside part, like the lenses move in and out or whatever, but it also, like, tightens, like, the nose area. So it does feel like this one feels like there's too much of a gap and it's too loose, and the PlayStation one feels like it's kind of a little bit too tight in a way, like it pinches my nose a bit. But it's doable, it's okay, it's not so bad. But with this having such a big gap, when you look down, while you're looking in here and you're looking sort of down a little bit, you start to see what's going on here, like, because it is quite a big gap around, so light gets in and everything, and you obviously don't want that. But it just feels like it feels to me like, because you can adjust these here as well, you pull these in and out so they click. So that's all the way in now, and then you can go one more and then one more. So there's 3 different settings for the lenses. Whereas the PlayStation one with the wheel, it's there's loads of adjustments that you can go through there. It kind of goes, in between bits and pieces of these 3 settings, would, if you know what I mean, because you turn in a wheel, so you can get the finer adjustments. Here you're stuck with the 3, and I honestly don't know which one's best, because I started with the default one, which was the middle one, and it felt very blurry around the edges and that. But once I tried the inner one, like the most inner one out of the 3, and that one felt like way too close together. Like, I could see a lot of darkness either side and around sort of like the edges, and it honestly felt like they call it like field of view or whatever, FOV, like it felt like it was very narrow. So I turned it to the most wide one, and that gave me the least amount of blurriness as well. But it was still very blurry, except from the very middle area. of it. If I looked anywhere like up towards the top corners or sort of anywhere that wasn't the middle areas, it was just blurriness, and it was very hard to kind of sometimes a few seconds would go past and my eyes, I think, adjusted a little bit to it, and so it kind of made it a little bit less blurry. But just looking in different areas, it hasn't got the eye tracking that that the PlayStation has, I don't think, where when you look on the PlayStation thing, if you look in the middle, it focuses all of the processing power and everything into that area. But if you then look up towards one of the corners, it makes that area there the sort of the area that's the most important, and kind of puts all of the, you know, processing power and everything into that area to make that the most sort of you know, least blurry and most focused area, like detail wise and everything, and everything else around that as it goes outwards would become a little bit more blurry. But because you're not looking there, every time you looked somewhere to see if it was blurry, it would focus on that area, so it was never really blurry anyway. You know, so it was kind of perfect in that way. Whereas this doesn't have it. It feels like the middle part is the bit that it focuses only on, and then as it gets towards the edges, it's blurry, and you start to see the it's just black there. It's because it's as though like there's nothing there. I think it's the way the lenses are, like it's the field of view is too narrow, so there's just like nothing there. So it takes you out of the immersion. Like it doesn't feel like you're fully in there. Even if you turn your head and look in different areas and look towards the corners, you can't see nothing there. It's just black. I don't know if I'm explaining that good or not, but yeah. So that's that basically. And then, like I said, you can pop this off, so you can just pull it. And the thing with this one is I don't feel like it's delicate or anything. Like I don't worry that I'm gonna break the thing by pulling it apart. I wouldn't do this with the PlayStation VR one. And not the PlayStation VR is like, you know, weak or anything like that, or that it's, you know, crap quality or anything. I feel like it's better quality, but I feel like that's why I want to be more careful with it. I don't want to damage it in any way. This feels like it's a toy, like a plastic toy. Like I'm not really that bothered about it, you know, like. And then I have to remind myself it was still £275. It wasn't cheap. It was only £75 less than what the PlayStation VR was. So it's not a cheap toy. So yeah. So basically, that just pops in like that, and it just pops in like in the corners and stuff. It's a bit hard to do one-handed, but yeah, it pops in like that, and then you just pop that back in, and then it just gives that extra height. And you can pretty much do that one-handed like I was doing there. So, yeah. It's not fully on, because I can't see, because I'm looking through the camera. But yeah, so basically my final thoughts on this is, I think it's a novelty thing, if I'm being honest. The PlayStation VR feels like I am going to use that a lot. I am going to play it a lot. And I at first I thought I was getting that, and it was gonna be a novelty thing, and I'm gonna play that like every now and again. But I think going forward, 50% of my gaming time will be on PlayStation VR, and 50% of my gaming time will be playing the regular flat, you know, traditional games and stuff on there. So I feel like I am gonna get a lot of use out of that, and it is obviously just for gaming. When I just want to play quickly and I only have a couple of hours, then I'll probably just play the flat games. But when I have a bit more time to set things up and move things around, then I'll be playing VR games. And there's a lot of VR games on PlayStation that I really want to play. And that was one of the things with the meta as well, is like, other than the exclusives, looking through the store, there's a lot of the good games that are on there are on the PlayStation VR as well, like the Arizona Sunshine games and stuff. I can't remember them all off the top of my head, but like a lot of the games I've seen on the PlayStation VR that have been recommended, I see on there anyway. And I just feel like I'm not going to play them on this headset because the VR headset, PlayStation VR headset, feels a lot more like superior to what this is. And yeah, probably people will say, yeah, you would, if you got the free instead of the 3S, you probably wouldn't be saying that, and it's a lot closer to the PlayStation VR, but I'm not gonna get that because like I say, I was only getting this just to play the few games that I can't play on the PlayStation 1. And I think, like, to be honest, I can sacrifice the few games. You know, if they don't want to bring out Batman, Arkham Shadows on PlayStation VR, then fine. I'll just have to miss out on it or something, because what I'm currently in the process of doing is talking to Currys about returning it. And just saying to him, like, it's because it was like I was playing it last night and playing like 10-15 minutes, and the blurriness is just like I can't seem to fix it in any kind of way. The reading things is just impossible. Like, the PlayStation VR isn't 100% perfect. There was blurriness in places here and there, and I'd have to fiddle around with the headset. That's why I'm saying if I've only got a couple of hours, I probably wouldn't play a VR game. If I've got a bit longer, then I will play PlayStation VR games, because it takes maybe an hour for me to get it perfect to how I like it. But once it's there, it's there. With this, I haven't been able to get it to feel perfect yet. And the other thing is I was playing 10-15 minutes last night at one point. Then while waiting for the football, I played another hour or so, and the battery was pretty much dead. It was right near the bottom. So by the time, even if I could spend an hour or so getting it to perfect viewing ability on my head, I would have to be stopping soon because the battery would be dead. So I don't know. Basically, I kind of slept on it and woke up this morning and said to myself, you know what? Today I'm gonna play a little bit of the Arkham game, because it's not like a game that came with it. It's linked to the account thing that I have, so it's not, like I'm using something that someone else could end up using if they refurbish this or whatever and they send it to somebody else. It's like no code has been used or whatever. It's just with the account or whatever. So basically, I'm gonna give that a go, but I think after looking at the games that I've looked at and the menus and stuff and the YouTube app and stuff, it just too blurry for my liking. So I think I'm gonna stick with just the PlayStation VR and just focus my energy and time on basically one VR headset instead of trying to focus on two. And I was kind of saying with the games earlier is like going through the store. Yeah, there's a lot of games on there that are on the PlayStation VR, and I know the PlayStation VR only has about just under 300 games, I think. But I can only see maybe a handful of games out of them 300 or so being sort of bloatware, kind of bad, weak games or whatever. On here, it seemed like when I was going through the store, there was a lot of rip-off games and things like that, and sort of early access type games. And when I'd look at the video or look at the pictures, it just looked like it was like someone had made a game within Roblox or something and was releasing it as a standalone game of their own, on the VR headset. So I'm thinking that out of the someone wrote somewhere that I was reading when I was looking at this headset before I got it, there's about 500 or so, or over 500 games or something on the Meta store or whatever. And maybe out of those 500, there's probably is about 300, again, like the PlayStation VR, that are worth getting. You know, the other 200 or so is like bloatware and stuff. It's not real proper games or weak games that are probably broken. There's nothing really good in it. There was a game I played, Val, I think it was VAIL, and it just confused me. Like I was just in the lobby bit or whatever, and then there was a area to do 1v1s or whatever, and then there's an area that I think you could do battles in. And as soon as I walked in it, I got no gun. There's nowhere to get guns. You have to buy guns, and it looks like with real money or whatever. And then you go in there with a knife, and everyone's just shooting you and jumping from behind you and knifing you, and it's like there's no tutorial. There's no like, okay, here's a gun, let's just get you started or whatever. It was just straight in sort of thing. So yeah, so I think that's what I'm gonna do. So yeah, sorry, my doorbell went, so I had to pause it. So basically, yeah, that's my plan. That's what I'm gonna do. For me, my honest opinion, I would give this headset. I would give it a 7 out of 10. But a lot of the reason that it gets the 7 instead of lower is the fact that it's a wireless headset. So I could lay on my bed here and then just sit here and watch telly or whatever. Watch the Arsenal game last night. And while I was waiting, I could lay on the bed and I could do a bit of VR and stuff. Without having to go downstairs, switch my PlayStation on, move everything around, set it up for half hour or so. It was just straight on my head. It feels a bit more comfortable and a bit lighter on my head, and it didn't feel like it was crushing anything on my head. Like I say, with the nose part, it's a bit too wide, way too wide. I don't know whose nose is going to be that wide. My nose is quite big. No, my nose is quite big. And that is probably twice the width of my nose. So I don't know who has a nose that wide and that long, like that high out. And my nose is big, kind of compared to most people. It's probably bigger than average. So yeah, like, it feels more comfortable. It doesn't pinch everywhere and feel like my head's getting crushed and stuff. But like I say, I bought the thing for my PlayStation VR that goes across the top now and joins to the back. And I've only just put that on there yesterday and I haven't had a chance to use it yet. No, sorry. When did I get it? A few days ago. And so I haven't had a chance to try that out yet. But it should relieve a little bit at least of the weight off the front, and the rest I can deal with. So, you know, that's why that would get this. If this was wired in like the PlayStation, if everything else was like the PlayStation, this would probably get a 4 or a 5 out of 10, because, you know, it's kind of, it's not completely all bad, you know. It does feel well made and everything. Just the lenses are just too blurry and stuff. I don't know. There's the light comes in too much from here, and I don't really know how else to block it or whatever. I don't want to mess about with it or anything, as it really should have something that should just pinch it a bit more here. But the sound was perfect on it. That gives it an extra point. Like, is the sound, you know, without having to put anything in your ears and still be able to hear things. And the controllers, but the positives and there's negatives about the controllers, because you still need to buy rechargeable batteries or something so that you can do that, or just keep putting in normal batteries. So it's like everything is, you know, you've got to recharge things constantly on here, whereas it's not like that with the PlayStation 1 so much. You only got to charge the controllers. Whereas I would say with the PlayStation VR, it's not perfect itself, you know. I would say, like, this is a 7 out of 10, and the PlayStation is probably a 8.5, maybe 9. It depends on what these things do to it that I've bought extra, you know, like the lens things and the other strap and stuff, and that what that ends up making it feel like, because that's only cost me like about £20 in total for all of them extra things. If that ends up making it feel a little bit more comfortable and stuff, and that, then it's definitely a 9. But it's between an 8.5 and a 9. The only downfalls of the PlayStation VR is the lead, the weight of it on the front part, the fact that you have to put the things in your ear and it's not built into the headset itself, so that you, like it is on this Meta, and the other apps. If it could end up having a couple of extra apps or something, but the thing is it's really just for gaming. You've got to plug it into your PlayStation anyway to game, so it's more for just gaming. Whereas this is, this could be for people who are not necessarily gamers as well. People who want to watch YouTube or do fitness things, because there's fitness apps and things that you can do on here. So that's for that. But for me, I'm a gamer and I'm not interested in the fitness things and stuff and all them other extras. It was just the fact that the only extra that I kind of was interested in was being able to watch kind of like a YouTube video or something like that on there. But it was more of a novelty thing, and the only other thing would be, the sort of the wireless and the few games that are exclusive to it at the moment. Maybe more will come out that are exclusive to it, but there's exclusives on everything. It's kind of, how badly do you want the things to do it? Like there's some exclusive games on Xbox. I'm not going to buy an Xbox X now. I bought, the only Xbox I ever bought was an Xbox One, and I bought that after years and years of it being out, because I ended up thinking I want to play Sunset Overdrive and I want to play Fable and I want to try a few of these other games out. And I tried them. I got the Game Pass thing for about 3 months on there. No, 6 months or whatever it was at the time. And I played it a lot, and I played every game that I wanted to play, and none of them really lived up to how I built them up in my head. State of Decay and stuff, I think, was probably the best one out of all of them. And the rest I didn't really like as much as I thought I was going to like, because I just built it up in my head that I can't play them, and it would be nice to play them. And I watched some videos, and I probably just watched the best parts of them. So, it's kind of the same, I think, with this. Like the only thing other than a PlayStation that I've kind of seemed to have liked over the years is getting like the occasional Nintendo thing. Like at the moment I've got the Switch, and we use it for family gaming. And if we ever do any fitness things, it is on that. Like with the what's it called, the where you got the wheel thing and stuff. Oh my god, I can't. Ring Fit, that's the one. Not wheel, it's a ring fit. So me and Aaron have played that a few times and stuff over the years. Like we had it since the COVID stuff that was all going on, the lockdown, so we was using it a lot then. And then I've used it here and there where we played like the mini games and stuff. But Aaron every now and again gets it out for like 2 or 3 days, plays it like crazy, then we put it away again, and then we get it out. So, and then we play some of the Mario games, like the Mario Party games and stuff, like when we do family gaming and that. So, that's what we do on that. But it's not my everyday gaming console. My everyday gaming console is PlayStation. So I think that's, where I'm at with the VR stuff. I only want it for gaming, and I'm probably going to split my time 50-50 over VR games and regular traditional games. And I obviously, want to do that on PlayStation because I'm used to PlayStation. I've always had PlayStation since the very beginning. So that's where I'm at. So yeah, this is not, I wouldn't say it's bad. If you don't own sort of like a PlayStation or any kind of VR already, and you just want to get into VR and see what it's like, then I would recommend getting the free S and the 128GB. Don't get the free because it's another 200 or something on top, and don't get the one with the bigger hard storage space, because you can fit quite a lot on here. You can fit probably about five or six biggish games on there, and maybe about 1 or 2 big games and maybe 20, 30 of the little games and stuff. You can get all the apps and things. So if you just want to get into VR and not really like heavy into gaming, don't have a PlayStation, then I'd recommend definitely get this. But if you already have a PlayStation 5 and want to get into VR, then get the PlayStation VR headset. And if you've already got, like me, the PlayStation 5 and the VR headset for the PlayStation, then honestly, there is really no point in this, except from being able to walk around, go into maybe your friend's house or someone else's house or whatever, or go on holiday and take it with you. But to me, it's like, if I was gonna go on holiday and stuff, I'm not going on holiday to play VR. I'm going on holiday to have a holiday. You know, that's me personally. Maybe other people might want to be able to do that. But also, when you want to go to someone else's house, you're there to see them. And if you are going to be doing gaming and stuff, then you'd want to play maybe on their console or whatever and play a couch co-op game. You don't want to be playing, like, even if you can do VR co-op, like they've got a headset, you've got a headset, but you're just in their house. What's the difference between you doing it in your house and them in their house? You don't see them. You've got headsets on. So yeah, so basically, no headset or any kind of gaming really, want to try it out, this is the perfect one. You already got a PlayStation, whatever, then stick to that, is my honest opinion. And this went on way too long as well. This is like 50 minutes long, and I was planning to do like maybe 20 minutes, but it's kind of, you know, there's a lot to it. There's a lot to talk about, because there's, you know, the app and everything like that, and it is easy to set up. You know, like anybody who's not a gamer and stuff and heavy into tech and stuff, you will be able to set this up really easily. It's not hard. It's self-explanatory. Once you scan this QR code that's in there, it takes you to the website where it's got free videos, I think it was, that are about 2 minutes long, and it shows you how to take it out of the box, what to set up, and how to put the thing on, how to adjust these straps, you know, then setting up the controller, you know, and then what app to download. You know, it's all really simple stuff. Like literally within 10 minutes, you can be away and doing what you're doing. But for me, it's a 7 out of 10, which is good. But my PlayStation VR is like a 8.5, 9 out of 10. So I'm gonna stick to that. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.